Have you noticed a stubborn odor lately, one that's pushing people away even if they don't say it? What if it's not your fault, but a hidden cause after 60? I'm sharing 5 surprising reasons body odor sneaks up on seniors, and the simple fixes that help Diane, 64, smell fresh again, so she could hug her friends without fear. Picture Diane standing in her bedroom, staring at the lavender dress she'd picked out for her book club meeting, a night she'd always loved, surrounded by friends, sharing stories over tea, feeling connected and alive. But tonight, she couldn't bring herself to go. Just yesterday, she'd caught a whiff of something as she hugged her friend Mary at the grocery store. A faint, musty smell that made her freeze. Mary didn't say anything, but Diane saw the way her smile tightened, the way she stepped back a little too quickly. Diane knew that smell was coming from her, and the shame hit her like a wave. She'd noticed it creeping in over the past few months, a stubborn odor that lingered no matter how much she showered or how much perfume she spritzed. She started to wonder if this was just what aging meant. Losing not just her youth, but her confidence, her place among friends. That moment with Mary was her breaking point, a moment that made her realize she couldn't keep hiding. She didn't want to be the woman who skipped book club, who avoided hugs, who felt like she didn't belong anymore. So Diane decided to fight back, and what she found were 5 hidden causes of body odor, after 60 things she never would have guessed, that were stealing her freshness and pushing people away. I'm going to share those causes with you, along with the simple, senior-friendly fixes that help Diane smell fresh again, so she could walk into any room with her head high. If you're ready to feel confident and fresh again, give this video a like. I'd love to know you're with me on this journey. The first hidden cause Diane discovered was something she'd never thought about: her diet. She'd always loved her garlic-heavy pasta dishes, her onion-packed salads, thinking they were healthy choices. But after her moment with Mary, she learned that after 60, your body doesn't break down certain foods the same way, and strong-smelling foods like garlic, onions, and red meat can linger in your system, seeping out through your sweat and breath. Diane met Ellen, 66, from Colorado, who'd had a similar wake-up call. Her daughter gently pointed out that her breath and skin had a sharp smell after her favorite curry dinners. Ellen's nutritionist told her that these foods release sulfur compounds that your body struggles to process as you age, making odor worse. Ellen started swapping out garlic and onions for milder herbs like basil or thyme, and she cut back on red meat, choosing fish or chicken instead. She didn't change her whole diet, just made those small tweaks, and within a week, she noticed a difference. Her daughter hugged her and said, "Mom, you smell so much better. What did you do?" Diane thought, I eat garlic all the time. Could this be my problem? So she tried it. She swapped garlic for rosemary in her pasta, cut back on red meat, and focused on lighter proteins like salmon. After a few days, she felt a shift. That musty smell wasn't as strong, and she felt a little lighter too. You can do this too. Look at your meals, cut back on garlic, onions, and red meat, and try milder flavors like basil or thyme. It's not about giving up what you love. It's about making small changes so you can feel fresh and confident again, just like Diane did. The second cause hit Diane even harder: dehydration. She'd never been a big water drinker, always reaching for tea or soda instead, thinking, I'm not thirsty, I'm fine. But she didn't realize that after 60, your body's ability to hold water drops, and dehydration doesn't just dry out your skin. It makes your sweat more concentrated, amplifying body odor. Diane heard about Ruth, 68, from Texas, who'd had her own moment of embarrassment. Her grandkids wrinkled their noses during a picnic, and she realized her odor was stronger than ever. Ruth's doctor explained that dehydration makes your body work harder, producing sweat that smells worse because it's packed with waste your kidneys couldn't flush out. Ruth started keeping a water bottle by her side, aiming for 6 glasses a day, about 48 ounces, sipping steadily with a slice of cucumber for flavor. Within days, her odor softened, and she felt fresher, cleaner, like her body was working with her again. Diane thought, I barely drink water. Could this be why I smell? So she grabbed a bottle, set it on her kitchen counter, and made a rule: sip every time she passed it, aiming for 6 glasses a day. She added a lemon slice to make it easier, and after a week, she noticed her skin felt less dry, and that stubborn odor was fading. You can do it too. Keep a water bottle where you'll see it, aim for 6 glasses a day, and add a slice of fruit if you need to. It's not just about hydration. It's about keeping your body fresh so you can feel confident in any room, just like Diane was starting to. Diane was starting to feel a glimmer of hope. Those small changes to her diet and her new hydration habit were making a difference, softening that stubborn odor that had kept her from her book club. She could feel her confidence creeping back, little by little, like a weight lifting off her shoulders. But as she got ready one morning, pulling on her favorite sweater, she noticed something that made her pause. The fabric felt a little damp under her arms, and that musty smell was still there, clinging to her clothes. She'd always thought her wardrobe was fine, but she realized she might be overlooking a third hidden cause of body odor: her clothing choices. Diane had been wearing a lot of synthetic fabrics, like polyester blouses and nylon sweaters, because they were easy to care for and didn't wrinkle. But after her moment with Mary, she learned that after 60, your skin becomes more sensitive, and synthetic fabrics trap sweat and bacteria against your body, making odor worse. Diane met Clara, 65, from Oregon, who'd had her own moment of realization. Her family started sitting farther away at gatherings, and she figured out it was her polyester dresses holding on to smells. Clara's dermatologist told her that synthetic fabrics don't breathe, creating a breeding ground for odor-causing bacteria, especially as your body's natural oils change with age. Clara started switching to natural fabrics like cotton and linen, which let her skin breathe and wick away moisture. She didn't replace her whole wardrobe, just swapped her everyday tops and dresses for cotton ones, and she made sure to wash them after every wear. Within days, she noticed the difference. Her clothes didn't hold that stale smell, and her family started sitting closer again. Clara's son even said, "Mom, you smell so fresh. What's different?" Diane thought, I wear polyester all the time. Could this be part of my problem? So she went through her closet, pulled out her cotton blouses and started wearing those instead. She also made a habit of washing them after each use, even if they didn't seem dirty. After a few days, she felt it. That musty smell wasn't clinging to her anymore, and her clothes felt lighter, cleaner against her skin. You can do this too. Check your wardrobe for synthetic fabrics like polyester and swap them for cotton or linen pieces that let your skin breathe. Wash them after every wear to keep bacteria at bay. It's not about a big overhaul. It's about making smart choices so you can feel fresh and confident, just like Diane was starting to. I'd love to hear which of these fixes you're trying first. Drop a comment below and let me know what's sparking your curiosity. With her clothing sorted, Diane thought she was making real progress, but there was another hidden cause she hadn't considered: her stress levels. She'd always been a bit of a worrier, especially lately, with her husband's health concerns and her own fears of being left out. She didn't realize that stress was making her sweat more, and not just any sweat, the kind that smells worse because it comes from your apocrine glands, which are triggered by anxiety. Diane learned about Susan, 70, from Florida, who'd had her own wake-up call. Her friends started avoiding her at church, and she realized her stress was making her odor stronger. Susan's doctor explained that after 60, stress hormones like cortisol spike more easily, and apocrine sweat is thicker, smellier, because it's packed with proteins that bacteria love to break down. Susan started a simple morning routine to calm her mind. She'd sit quietly for 5 minutes, breathing deeply, in through her nose for 4 seconds, out through her mouth for 6, focusing on a happy memory, like walking on the beach with her grandkids. She also kept a small lavender sachet in her purse, sniffing it when she felt anxious. Within a week, she noticed her sweat wasn't as strong, and her friends started lingering longer after chats. Susan's best friend even said, "You seem so relaxed, and you smell nice too." Diane thought, "I've been so stressed lately. Could this be making my odor worse?" So she gave it a try. She started her mornings with 5 minutes of deep breathing, picturing her book club friends laughing together, and she bought a lavender sachet to keep in her bag. The first few days were hard. She wasn't used to slowing down, but by the end of the week, she felt calmer, and that sharp, stressy smell was fading. You can do it too. Take 5 minutes each morning to breathe deeply, in for 4, out for 6, and picture something that makes you smile. Keep a calming scent, like lavender nearby for when stress hits. It's not about erasing stress completely. It's about managing it so your body doesn't betray you. And for Diane, it was like finding a new kind of peace, one that made her feel fresh inside and out. Diane was starting to feel like she was getting her old self back. Those tweaks to her diet, her new hydration habit, the switch to breathable fabrics, and her calming breathing routine were all working together, softening that stubborn odor that had kept her from her book club. She could feel her confidence growing, like a quiet strength she hadn't felt in months, and she was starting to believe she could walk into any room without worrying about what others might think. But there was one more hidden cause she hadn't considered, one that had been building up without her even noticing, and it was the final piece she needed to truly feel fresh again. Diane had always been diligent about showering, but she didn't realize that after 60, her body's natural bacteria balance changes, and if you're not cleaning certain areas thoroughly, those bacteria can multiply, causing odor that lingers no matter how much you wash. This was the 5th hidden cause, skipping key spots during hygiene. Diane learned about Margaret, 69, from New Jersey, who'd had her own moment of realization. Her friends started keeping their distance at bingo night, and she figured out it was because she wasn't cleaning well enough under her arms and around her neck, areas where sweat and bacteria love to hide. Margaret's doctor told her that after 60, your skin folds more, and your sweat glands produce oils that bacteria feed on, especially in warm, moist spots like underarms, behind ears, and even between toes. If you don't target those areas, the odor builds up, and no amount of perfume can cover it. Margaret started a simple shower routine. She'd use a gentle antibacterial soap, like one with tea tree oil, and focus on those key spots for a full minute each, making sure to rinse well. She also made sure to dry thoroughly, using a soft towel to pat down every area, because leftover moisture lets bacteria grow. Within a week, she noticed a huge difference. Her odor was gone, and her friends started sitting closer at bingo, chatting like old times. Margaret's best friend even said, "You smell so nice lately. What's your secret?" Diane thought, "I shower every day, but I don't really focus on those spots. Could this be what I'm missing?" So she gave it a try. She bought a gentle antibacterial soap with tea tree oil, and in the shower, she spent a full minute on her underarms, her neck, behind her ears, and even between her toes, making sure to rinse and dry completely. The first few days, she felt a little awkward slowing down, but by the end of the week, She could tell it was working. That last trace of musty smell was gone, and her skin felt cleaner, fresher, like she'd finally tackled the root of the problem. You can do this too. Grab a gentle antibacterial soap. Focus on your underarms, neck, ears, and toes for a minute each in the shower, and dry thoroughly. It's not about scrubbing hard, it's about being thorough in the right places so your body can stay fresh naturally. For Diane, it was like the final piece of the puzzle. She felt clean, confident, and ready to step back into her life, knowing she'd tackled every hidden cause that had been holding her back. She was so close now to reclaiming her place among friends, to proving that body odor wouldn't define her, and she couldn't wait to see what that freedom would feel like. Diane stood in front of her mirror that Tuesday evening, smoothing down her lavender dress, a smile spreading across her face. Tonight was her book club meeting, the first one she'd attended in months, and for the first time in a long while, she felt ready, truly ready. She'd come so far since that humiliating moment at the grocery store with Mary when she'd caught that musty smell and saw the way her friend pulled back. That moment had sparked a fear in Diane. That body odor would steal her confidence, her friendships, her place in the world she loved. But Diane fought back, tackling each of the 5 hidden causes that were making her odor worse after 60. And as she walked into the book club that night, she felt like she'd won. The room buzzed with chatter, and when Mary saw her, she lit up, pulling Diane into a warm hug. No hesitation, no tight smile, just a genuine embrace. Mary whispered, "You look amazing, Diane. I've missed you." As they sat down with their tea, laughing over their favorite novel, Diane felt a warmth she'd thought was gone forever. She wasn't just back at book club. She was back in her life, confident, fresh, and free to be herself again. Let's take a moment to look back at what Diane learned, because these 5 fixes aren't just for her, they're for you too. First, she tackled her diet, cutting back on garlic, onions, and red meat, swapping them for milder flavors like basil to stop odor at its source. Then she focused on hydration, sipping 6 glasses of water a day with a slice of lemon, keeping her sweat from getting too concentrated. She switched her synthetic fabrics for breathable cotton and linen, letting her skin breathe and keeping bacteria at bay. She managed her stress with a 5-minute deep breathing routine each morning, calming her body so it wouldn't produce that smelly stress sweat. And finally, she got thorough with her hygiene, using a gentle antibacterial soap to clean key spots like her underarms and neck, making sure to dry completely. These aren't big, overwhelming changes. They're small, senior-friendly steps that add up to something life-changing. Diane's not a different person now. She's the same Diane, just fresher, more confident, and more in control. And you can be too. You don't have to let body odor steal your confidence, your friendships, or your joy. You've got the power to stop these hidden causes, starting today with these 5 simple fixes. Whether you're 60, 70, or beyond, you deserve to feel fresh, to walk into any room with your head high, to hug the people you love without a second thought. If Diane's journey has inspired you to take back your confidence, I'd love for you to join me for more. Hit that subscribe button so we can keep tackling these challenges together, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it, because no one should feel pushed away by something they can fix, and I'm here to help you every step of the way.